Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in and checking out my latest video. Now, today's video is going to be talking about the underrated matchup in the UK between Jack Catterall versus Ohara Davies taking place in October. Now, this is a great fight that's been on my radar for quite a long time since it was announced. Huge fight for both of these boxers moving forward. And if you guys never seen my channel before, basically what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to talk about both of these fighters, give you guys my prediction on this fight, some skills both bring to the table, and some keys to this matchup. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. So let's first start off with Ohara Davies and what he brings to the table in this fight. Ohara Davies brings that long frame. He likes to work off his jab consistently. His straight right hand is a vicious shot of his. He's got good power, Ohara Davies. And I would say that when he gets his opponent hurt, he's an excellent finisher in my opinion. He's also got some awkward movement throughout the ring, and the way he throws punches is definitely kind of hard for his opponents to figure out what is going to come towards them offensively. So Ohara Davies does have a lot of skills. He's very confident in his ability as well. And I actually think that the blessing in disguise in the career of Ohara Davies would be his loss to Josh Taylor. After his loss to Josh Taylor, in my opinion, he really has started implementing some good things into his boxing. So when I watch Ohara Davies now, I think he's more composed, he's more patient, and he's even throwing some body shots, which is something that he never really did before. Also, he's trying to implement more combination punching into his style, and I think that's a great thing for Ohara Davies because you used to watch him before. He'd land a couple jabs, move back, maybe throw one right hand, get his opponents off the hook. But with a guy who has solid power like Ohara Davies, it's always good to throw combinations. And I think that's something that's going to be an effective change in his career, in my opinion. So moving on to Jack Catterall, guys, let's talk about him and what he brings to the table. Jack Catterall, I was put on to about 5 years ago. Top Class Boxing had a great piece about him. It was kind of highlighting a few British prospects to really look out for. So that intrigued me, and I looked up Jack Catterall and I started following his fights and really enjoying watching them. When I look at Jack Catterall, he's a southpaw. I think his best power punch, in my opinion, would be his straight left hand. Very, very good shot. Also, Jack Catterall is best, in my opinion, when he closes the distance, he has his opponents on the ropes, and he uses that hand speed and unleashes some head body combinations, really mixes up his shots, and it's a really good weapon to have, Jack Catterall's versatility, because when you look at him as a fighter, he can fight in the center of the ring at times. You'll also see defensively, he has some pretty good head movement, and he can also laterally move around the ring, and he implements a Philly shell at times, and sometimes when he's laterally moving around the ring, he'll actually use a high guard. So defensively, he has a lot of different looks, and his versatility makes him a really good talent, in my opinion. I've been very high on his skills, and I think with Jamie Moore now in his corner, with a great team, you got guys like Martin Murray, Carl Frampton, Rocky Fielding all working together. That gym's got some excellent talent, and that's only going to improve him as a fighter. So I've always been very high on Jack Catterall to begin with, but I think that move to that team is excellent for him as well. So when I look at the advantages, guys, in this fight, let's start off with Ohara Davies and some advantages that he has, in my opinion, in this matchup. I believe Ohara Davies has a reach advantage in this fight. I also think that he's a better power puncher of the two, in my opinion. I think that straight right hand is a vicious weapon, and I think I'd give him the edge in power in this fight. I also have to give him the edge in competition as well because he did fight Josh Taylor. If you've seen me on this channel, you know how high I am in Josh Taylor as a talent. He also fought a faded Derry Matthews as well. Nonetheless, still a name and still a guy with tons of experience. So I'd give the slight edge competition-wise as well to Ohara Davies, in my opinion. And also, I'd have to say, Ohara Davies has been in a lot of big fights. He's used to a lot of tension about him. So that's something that's very key in a fight like this. It's going to be a high-profile fight. He's been there. He's been through the atmosphere. So that's definitely something very good to have if you're Ohara Davies leading up to this fight with Jack Catterall. The stage of this fight will not faze him whatsoever. Now, some advantages that Jack Catterall has over Ohara Davies. When we look at him, Jack, and the advantages he has in this fight, I would say that he's the better body puncher of the two fighters. I would also say he's more versatile than Ohara Davies, in my opinion. and he throws this shorter, more accurate punches. And I also believe maybe a slight hand speed advantage. That one's tough to say though as well, guys. Ultimately, some keys I think for this fight. For Ohara Davies, I think his jab is going to have to be very active. And I think he wants to keep this fight in the center of the ring, implement that reach advantage. Um, Ability to land that right hand is going to be key as well. And he's going to need to stay off the ropes against Jack Catterall. Catterall, in my opinion, is going to need to use excellent angles offensively to close the distance to get on the inside and really make sure that he's keeping up his defense throughout the fight. I noticed in his last fight, sometimes Catterall, he got a little lax defensively, and I think that's because his opponent that he was fighting from Ireland wasn't the biggest power puncher, so I think he wasn't too worried about the power shots. And he's going to have to be more focused in that regards in this fight versus Ohara Davies. So those are some keys I think for Catterall. Of course, be busy, implement angles offensively, and use that versatility that he has as a fighter. So my pick for this fight, guys, is going to be a tough fight, but I'm going to lean to Jack Catterall in this fight. I believe he wins a unanimous decision in this fight, 8-4, I think, or I think he wins by a few rounds, basically, ultimately in this fight. I think at least he'll win by 3-4 rounds. And when I think of why Jack Catterall win this fight, I believe that I just have to go with him because he has more versatility than Ohara Davies. I think he's defensively better. I think he does a lot more. His boxing IQ, he has more skills. He brings to the table offensively and defensively. He throws different variety of punches. Been in there with some very good sparring in many years. And I like the team that he has around him. So, from my opinion, I think Jack Catterall is just a better boxer of the two. And ultimately, I got him by unanimous decision. It's going to be very interesting, though, because Ohara Davies, he's not as skillful as Catterall, in my opinion, doesn't have the tools, but he has that power, which is always a great equalizer in a fight like this. So ultimately, guys, let me know what you think on this matchup, who you have winning this fight. Very intrigued. I think it's going to be a lot of different opinions on this matchup, but nonetheless, it's a great fight. And I hope you guys tune in and check out some more videos in the future. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.